Hi, I'm Bruce Cameron. I'm the vacancy pastor at Ebenezer Lutheran Church in St. Louis. And during Lent, we are talking about discipleship on the basis of the Sermon on the Mount and through the guidance of Dietrich Bonhoeffer's book on discipleship and his study of the Sermon on the Mount. And our reading for today is probably the place in the Sermon on the Mount that people say is too much, that it goes against the way we figure we can live our life when he talks about retribution and no retribution, about non-resistance to the evil one, the person who is mistreating us, who talks about the other cheek and the extra mile. From Matthew chapter 5. You have heard that it was said, an eye for an eye and a tooth for a tooth, which actually was the Old Testament law, that that there should be justice, that the retaliation should be equal to the offense, the punishment should fit the crime and not go beyond it. Just an eye equal to an eye, a tooth equal to a tooth. But Jesus says, I tell you, do not resist an evil person. If someone strikes you on the right cheek, turn the other one to them as well. If someone wants to sue you and take away your tunic, let them have your cloak as well. If someone forces you to go 1 mile, go 2 miles with them. Give to the one who asks you. Do not turn away from the one who wants to borrow from you. And as I say, this is a place where the Sermon on the Mount strikes people as not only hard, but unreasonable. That Jesus' followers, as Bonhoeffer says, they renounce their rights for his sake. That justice consists of standing up for everybody's rights, that everybody's rights should be protected. And Jesus' command, well, it's a burden on his disciples, but it's also a statement of how free they are. You are free of your possessions. They're going to go anyway. So if someone takes them, give them. Because Jesus and you, that will last forever. And your suffering, even suffering at the hands of others, it has no more power over us because it passes over us. We go through it. And Jesus and you last forever. The sense of justice is that the other person, that you're going to get the other person back equal to what was done to you. Let them know what it felt like, what they did. And this section of Bonhoeffer's book on discipleship, it had a great effect on me during my teenage years, from high school into college and the time in the Navy, when I was dealing with the question of how someone may be required to do something because of their duty, because of their office, their position. They may be required to act and impose justice. But what's the relationship of that for what we as an individual who don't insist on our rights for ourselves, because Jesus says, let it go. Mistreatment, go an extra mile. An unjust demand, give them more. Let them hit you again. That is an astounding statement. But Dietrich Bonhoeffer lived with this issue under Nazi Germany. He actually became a conspirator in the plot to assassinate Adolf Hitler. When a bomb was placed in Hitler's presence, Bonhoeffer knew that that was coming. He knew the date that it would happen. And he knew when when the plot failed. That was part of what would eventually be his death sentence. So the words of Jesus are a command to our life that we each have to put into our own life, your life and mine. And in one sense, it makes no sense. You can't live in the world like this, not resisting, letting someone hit you again, giving them more, going farther, just giving up your own rights. It makes no sense. It makes sense only if Jesus is living in the world with us. Unless he is united in suffering the injustice. He is united with us in not insisting on his own rights, giving up any possessions, giving up his righteousness, his life. Evil wins. It does its worst. And Jesus dies. And then, in that moment, evil loses because it has done its worst. And it can do no more. And Jesus, who lives, can do everything. That's our confidence. See, if Jesus is not true, then in one sense, nothing matters. If Jesus is true, then nothing else matters. Because we're with him. We are with him through it all. That's a song that I have sung and played the piano for. That through it all, I've learned to trust in Jesus. I've learned to trust in God. Through it all, I've learned to depend on his word. Okay, I trust in Jesus. I depend on his word. Now put that into the face of injustice. It doesn't work unless Jesus is with us. And he is. In his name, amen.